welcome back to Everyday Magic. Today I am going to give you a 3-step spell for discovering the purpose of your life. Now, what is the purpose of life? It can be one of the hardest questions that we try to answer, and it's one that everybody asks at some point in time. But this question doesn't have to be as difficult as you think that it is. Like I said, I'm giving you a 3-step spell to help you along the way. So you're going to throw a few ingredients in your cauldron, work a little job of magic, and you'll have a pretty good potion whipped up in no time for giving your life a meaningful direction. The first step in our spell is to understand the principle of choice. Norman Vincent Peale once said, "The greatest power we have is the power of choice. It is an actual fact that if you have been groping under happiness, you can choose to be joyous instead, and by effort lift yourself into joy. If you tend to be fearful, you can overcome that misery by choosing to have courage. The whole trend and the quality of anyone's life is determined by the choices that are made." It's kind of a long quote, but I wanted to give you the whole thing so that you could hear it. Now, what we see from this is that choosing is the first step towards understanding our purpose in life. So it is the first step of our spell, because by making a choice, you are proclaiming your desires to your subconscious mind. And once the subconscious mind gets to know your desires, it is going to do anything and everything possible to manifest those desires in your life. The choices you make in your life become your aligned action steps, and if you are sincere in pursuing them, then there is no reason why you should not be able to accomplish them. It does take work. It's not like some magic formula thing, which is funny because this is talking about a 3-step spell, but just knowing and making choices doesn't automatically make everything fall into place. So what I'm saying here is it's going to take some work and some effort, but every choice that you make is making or putting things into effect that affect the outcome of that choice, which is kind of a roundabout way. I think you get what I'm saying here. But if you go back to any point in your life and you look at the choice you made, you can see how everything that followed was an effect of that choice, and had you made a different choice, then it would have been different. Now, indecision, on the other hand, not only creates frustration and anxiety, but can also confuse the subconscious mind about what you want. But it's important that the choices you make are made by you in accordance with your true desires, purposes, and aptitude. Now, a lot of people like to let other people make choices for us. We don't like to make choices for many different reasons. So we think that it's easier to let somebody else make those choices. Or if we do make choices, we second guess them, and we make choices according to what we think is correct or right, even if that means going against our wishes. So what is right for someone else may not be right for you. And what is right for you may not be right for me. And the way to know this is to listen to what our heart tells us and to make our decisions based on those things that are right for us as individuals. Now, with that understanding of choice, we can begin to make a list of things which interest us. So do that. Make a list of things which interest you, things that you have always enjoyed, things that make you feel better, things that inspire you to surge ahead, no matter what obstacle you face, and just write them down. Do you like doing something creative? Do you enjoy nature? Do you enjoy being by the sea? Do you enjoy helping others? Do you get pleasure out of making a difference in other people's lives? It doesn't matter here. You're going to just make a list of everything that interests you that you can think of. Whatever it is that interests you, write it down. And as you're doing that, think about these 3 questions. What things do you love to do? What is it that you love about this thing and why? And how could you do this thing for money or make a living out of it? Not that you have to, but if you wanted to, or if you wanted to use that to make a career choice, because they say that if you have a job doing what you love, then you never work for a day in your life. So why not try to have a career out of the things that interest you? If you love animals, it makes sense to try to see about if you want to be a veterinarian. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm not saying you have to make money out of your passions, because not every passion is supposed to be something that is income producing. But if you could, what is something that you could do to make a living out of that interest that you have? Now, all that was the first step in our spell. The second step is to create your underlying principle. Now, this step is to examine the list you just made. Take that list that you just made from step 1 and find out if there are any recurring themes. Look over everything that you wrote down and see if anything keeps coming up. Maybe you seek to give love to people, or you want to help people cope with old age. Doesn't matter what it is. Just try to identify a central theme or themes, it could be more than one, of the things that you love to do, and try to put them into a short and precise statement. And this statement is going to be your mission statement. It could be a quote by a famous person or a philosophy that has influenced you. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's your statement. And your statement will evolve as you grow and change throughout life, but the sole essence of your statement is going to remain the same, more than likely. It could change if you have a drastic point in your life that changes your whole life outlook. That did happen to me. I will go ahead and admit that. But for most people, it kind of stays the same. But yeah, just write down your statement. So see if you can come up with some central themes or a theme from the things that you like and create a mission statement out of that. And then we move on to the third step in our spell, when you align your life with your underlying principle or mission statement. Now, this final step in the spell is to map your path to your ultimate purpose and to begin taking action steps that help you align your daily life with your underlying purpose. When you start to do this, you will begin to live your principle every day. And it may take some time, but by becoming aware and intentional with your mission statement that you created in step 2, you will start to feel the difference in your enthusiasm for life. If you realize that you love being in nature, you can plan out your holiday to be in nature. Maybe you could take an outing with your children and recoup your energy. If you discover that you enjoy helping people in need, you can look for opportunities to volunteer in your community. It doesn't have to be anything difficult or massive or life-changing to society. Whatever your interests are and whatever mission statement you created, just start seeking out opportunities to live that mission statement. And you may find out that you want to change your job or start a business that is more in line with your mission, and that's okay. And if you don't, that's okay. Again, your mission doesn't have to necessarily be something that you create income with. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Basically, that's it. That's our 3-step spell to following and living and realizing your purpose in life. If you follow these steps and work your brand of magic, you will be on your way to finding and living out your purpose. Just remember, as you're going through the process, to think of the words of Steve Maraboli. You were put on this earth to achieve your greatest self, to live out your purpose, and to do it courageously.